What avoidants feel at 3 a.m. when you're gone, sleep psychology study. You're doing this wrong, assuming that when an avoidant doesn't text you back or seems totally fine after you leave, they're sleeping peacefully while you're up crying. Research from Harvard Medical School shows that people with avoidant attachment experience disrupted sleep patterns after emotional loss, specifically between 2 a.m. and 4 a.m., when their psychological defenses are at their lowest. Their conscious mind, the part that keeps them emotionally guarded during the day, loses power when they're alone in the dark. I've analyzed countless patterns of avoidant behavior with my clients, and the 3 a.m. window reveals a side of them they'd never show you in daylight. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly what's happening inside their mind in those dark, quiet hours, why they won't admit it, how their silence is a shield, and what they secretly hope you're doing while they're lying there, completely undone. The first wave, your absence becomes real. At first, they tell themselves they're fine, better off, sleeping like a baby. But around 3 a.m., when the world is still and there's no one performed for, the truth creeps in. Avoidants don't process emotions in real time. During the day, they're masters of distraction. Work, routines, screens, anything to avoid uncomfortable feelings. But when the distractions stop and the silence becomes deafening, suppression starts to crack. The very first thing that hits them is the weight of your absence. Not in a dramatic way. It's quieter than that. A dull ache. A strange emptiness. The bed feels bigger. The room feels colder. They replay everything. Every word. Every pause. Every time you said, "I love you," and they didn't say it back. At 3 a.m., their brain becomes a courtroom, and they're both the judge and the guilty party. They remember small moments. The way you laughed at something they said. The sound of your keys in the door. That specific playlist you made them listen to. And for once, they can't outrun the truth that you mattered. The secret hope, waiting for your name to light up. But acknowledging loss is only the beginning. What happens next is where things get complicated. They expect, no, they hope you'll break the silence. Not because they'll answer right away, but because your name lighting up their screen would mean you still care, that you're thinking of them too, that maybe this whole thing isn't really over. They won't chase you, won't call, won't say, "I miss you," but they're waiting every night, scanning for notifications, refreshing your Instagram one more time. They'll check if you viewed their story. Scroll back to your last conversation. Type, "Hey," and delete it 17 times, hoping you'll send that one message that gives them permission to feel again. And when you don't, that's when the real storm starts. Their mind twists it. If they really love me, they'd fight for me. It's not logic. It's longing dressed up as criticism. Part of them wishes you were still there, but another part feels relief that you're gone, because now you can't see how damaged they think they are. This contradiction creates emotional paralysis that keeps them awake, staring at the ceiling, unable to make sense of what they feel. The core terror, being fundamentally broken. And as the darkness deepens, so does their spiral. They start drowning in the belief that they're fundamentally broken, that no one will ever truly love them because there's something wrong at their core. Avoidants often carry deep-rooted beliefs planted in childhood, that they are too much or not enough, that if someone really knew them, they'd leave. During 3 a.m. hours, this belief becomes unbearable. They sabotage connection because they believe it's inevitable that people leave. And when you actually do leave, it confirms their worst fear. See? I was right. I'm unlovable. But here's the paradox. Even though they push you away, deep down they were hoping you'd be the exception, the one person who wouldn't give up. They want you to prove them wrong, to show them they're not unlovable, that someone can see their mess, their walls, their fear, and stay anyway. But instead of asking, they wait, hope, imagine, the fantasy. You've changed so they don't have to. Yet even in this darkness, their mind searches for an escape route. At 3 a.m., they spin fantasies where you've healed, grown, become calmer, not because they want you gone, but because they're terrified of your pain. If you come back needy or emotional, it overwhelms them. So in the dark, they imagine you stronger, quieter, more self-sufficient. Someone who won't beg, won't cry, won't ask them to change. They Picture you smiling again, but still wearing that shirt they left at your place. Still ordering their favorite coffee by accident. Still pausing that song you used to play together. They don't want you to disappear. They want you to evolve into someone who loves them without demanding they become someone else. It's selfish. It's unfair. But it's real. And while they're lying, they're imagining this perfect version of you. They're also terrified you become that person for someone else. That's when panic creeps in. The urge to text, hey. The finger hovering over your name. The draft message that says, I miss you. Deleted before sunrise. The replacement fear. Someone else gets the real you. But this fantasy quickly turns into their deepest nightmare. Though avoidants act like they're perfectly fine with you moving on, they secretly dread the idea that someone else is going to get the version of you they didn't know how to appreciate. They start thinking, what if there was someone else right now? What if that person laughs at their jokes the way I used to? What if they're getting the good morning texts I ignored? What if I had something rare and I threw it away? These thoughts don't just pass through casually. They stir something deep. Shame, because they know they're the one who pushed you away. Regret, because they're starting to realize what they lost. The longer the silence lasts, the louder their shame gets. They start wondering if you're happier now. If you've already forgotten the way they laughed when no one else could make them smile. And that thought, it guts them. But by sunrise, they've buried again. Smiled at work. Made a joke. Acted like nothing's wrong. Because for an avoidant, 3 a.m. is the only time they let themselves feel. And by morning, they've locked it all away like it never happened. The deepest secret. They hope you'll just understand. And beneath all of this, the fear, the fantasy, the regret, lies the quietest, most heartbreaking truth. Deep down, they expect you to just get them, without explanations, without therapy speak, without them ever having to say, I was scared, or I didn't know how to love you right. They hope you'll look past their silence and see the fear underneath, that you'll know their distance was a rejection, it was protection, that you'll understand why they pulled away, even if they never apologized. At 3 a.m., they fantasize about you coming back, not with anger, not with drama, but with quiet certainty, like you never stopped believing in them. And that fantasy keeps them emotionally hooked, even when they swear they're done, even when they tell their friends they're over it, even when they start dating someone new. But by the time they admit it, you might be long gone. Your power move. Reclaim your sleep. So what does this mean for you? Stop trying to be the person who saves them from their 3 a.m. thoughts and start becoming the person who sleeps peacefully through the night. Their sleepless hours aren't a call for you to come running back. They're the natural consequence of pushing away someone who loved them. This silence isn't a strategy to win them back. It's a space for you to finally rest, to reconnect with your own peace. And here's what they never expect. That you'll heal so completely in the silence that their 3 a.m. thoughts won't matter anymore. That you'll grow so whole that by the time they're ready to reach out, you'll no longer be waiting. You'll be sleeping soundly. Your peace is louder than their silence. If this resonated, hit that like button and subscribe for more insights on emotional healing and attachment. Drop a comment. Have you ever wondered what they were really feeling in the silence? Remember, protect your peace, honor your rest, and you are not here to lose sleep over someone who won't even admit they're awake thinking about you.